Episode 2 of You Can't Sit With Us. Rob Zujan.
Oh, is that the name?
Yeah, bro. Where's that quote from?
Oh, Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. He's in the know-how.
Rob, did we say your name properly? Is it Rob Zujan?
Rob Zujan, yeah. I actually put up a poll and I was like, Robert or Rob? All my friends call me Rob, and I was like,
Rob, can I just stop you there?
yeah.
You keep spelling poll wrong on Instagram.
Oh, man.
Get out of here.
It's P-O-L-L.
Can we get me tested?
Yeah, tested for what, corona?
Dyslexia. I genuinely, like, I have full-blown dyslexia. Always have, but I've been just denying it all the time. Now it's really clicking with me. I'm like, I see words differently, and I keep making, like, silly mistakes. I'm like, I know how to spell that. Why did I spell that wrong there?
Now I feel like a dick for correcting you.
You're dyslexia shaming me right there.
Yeah. Stadia.
What would you do without autocorrect, Rob?
Well, it doesn't matter. He still gets it wrong.
Yeah, still. So,
Autocorrect can't help with this lad. He's so far gone. P-O-L-E. Stick a poll up your ass, not a poll in question.
The newest member of the Go House, Rob. How does that feel?
pretty weird. Pretty interesting.
This is actually interesting, Rob. So, is it on? You must have made the most crazy face. I was like, shit, it's not on. So we had you on the list for the Go House, like, all the way back at the start. And I actually thought you were too R-rated.
Possibly.
And then I started following you because Tom was like, no, you're wrong. You're wrong about Rob. And I started following you. And then I was like, Tom, I was wrong about Rob the whole time. So you have me to blame for not being in the Go House for the first half. So I'm sorry, Rob. I got you wrong.
Interestingly, though, I said this to you when you came in. You were one of the very few people who actually just didn't message us to get in. And not that that was a deciding factor, but I thought it was also pretty cool, considering if you're to think of all the creators in the country, like, you're up there. But what did it feel like when I sent you that voice message?
About fucking time. Nah, for real though, I was like, I thought about it for like maybe 30 seconds. I was like, okay, what can I bring them? What can they bring me? And I was like, okay, it makes sense. I was like, why not? So I just went, yeah, honestly, it did kind of just, I'm not going to say that I was like waiting for it, but I was like, they've probably thought about it or something. So it just felt natural. It did feel like really natural. I wasn't like screaming with like, oh my God, Go House. I was just like, this makes sense for me. This makes sense for them. I think this will be a good, joint relationship. So I was like, yeah, why not?
A good marriage.
Yeah. I put it that way.
I'll go back to my previous statement, Rob. I just couldn't have been wronger. More wrong. Is wronger a word? Now who's dyslexic? I just got you so wrong, and I'm happy to say now that I was just so wrong.
Do you think you have a laddish figure from the outside looking in, Rob?
100%.
Yeah, you seem way more like a fucking stupid lad online than you are.
Oh, yeah. Even Ryan, like, wait until you get Ryan on the podcast. Ask him what his first impression was of me, because
we know.
Oh, man,
we
know.
talked about, he just did not want me. He was like, he's a fucking stupid, like...
Overruled.
Yeah. He just thought I'm exactly what I kind of look like without even, like, talking to me.
Which you're not, though, which is crazy.
Kind of, I'm a bit of, like, a nerd. Like, honestly, at heart, I am, like, that fat kid who sat by himself at lunch.
Yeah.
Did you say nerd or just, like, introverted naturally?
I don't know. I feel like I'm a mix of both. I've never, like, called myself an introvert because I can be an extrovert if needs to be. I'll just burn myself out a lot quicker. I don't really even believe in, like, introvert, extrovert. Like, anyone can just get their shit together and be an extrovert for the full day.
It's not as binary as it sounds. Remember that word?
Back to binary again. Shauna, do you know what the word binary means, Rob?
Yeah. It's not as... I have a rough idea. Like,
yeah, it's not like black or white.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we can all be introverted or extroverted depending on the situation or...
Exactly.
It's a spectrum.
Exactly.
So, I just think you've been great since you joined. Like, phenomenal impact. You're like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the 1999, or is it 98, Champions League final. You don't even know who he is, do you?
No, but I like the image of both of you being like in charge of like a soccer team and like subbing in people.
Exactly. You're an impact sub and like you've just scored a couple of goals and we're in the lead.
We constantly reference do you remember that, or you weren't there for it, but in the previous house, Jake said to me one night, have you seen the Tottenham Hotspur documentary? And basically I started watching an episode of it every night, and every morning meeting I used to bring up some form of sports reference. There are many times we felt like running the house is like running a Premier League football team.
It is though, because like you guys are like highly talented. You have very specific skill sets. You have leverage on your side. You all have a huge audience, and like you're all like powerful to a certain extent. You're not like employees. It's not like we can just be like, oh well, that's against the rules. You know, you're getting a fine, or like you're in detention. You know, like you're all like adults and you all got your own thing. And the closest analogy we can come to is like a bunch of football players that you have to try and control and get them to do good stuff on the pitch.
Yeah, it's pretty much like that.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is like everybody has their own like different niche. That's what makes it so strange. Like everybody, like there's people in there who have like their audience is like kids, like full on like TikTok kids. And my audience is pretty much like lads either younger than me or a bit older. I think on most platforms it's like 70 to 75% guys. So when I was here and I am near those people who have like kiddie-ish audiences, my audience kind of pushed back a little bit. They're like, hey, hold on, what are you doing? Don't do videos with them, or don't do that. Why are you doing this? So it was a bit strange at the start. It was weird to see, because I was like building up this small army, and now everyone's kind of turning on me and they're like, what are you doing? But I'm kind of like in a struggle, if you know what I mean. Like I need content. I still want to like push the boundaries of what content I can make, and I don't want to be stuck in that bracket of, oh, gym lad, oh, gym videos. I don't want that. I want to be like creatively free and be able to do a load of different shit.
What was your audience's response when you moved into the house?
Some were, it was kind of split. Some people, like I was seeing obviously comments like, oh, why did you do that? And some were delighted. And I don't think the ones that were saying, oh, why did you do that? I think they had some other thoughts about me. Maybe they thought I was a different person or something. Because like, obviously that's a huge opportunity for me. And I'm still going to continue doing the style of videos I am going to be doing. It's not going to change the style of my content. So I don't really know what to say to them.
Who was it? Steve Jobs said, Steve Jobs on a TikTok podcast. He said that like the audience or the people don't know what they want until you give it to them. So you take those people and you tell them, Rob, that you're more than just that little niche, and they'll enjoy it. You tell them.
That's what I'm trying to do. Every video, just trying to make it a little bit
one
better.
step at a time.
Yeah.
Like
warming them up.
How do you get a man to kill another man? One step at a time. Kick him. Punch him. Stab him. Kill him.
Hit him with your TikTok phone. But your views are
Whoever
popping,
ends
Rob.
the podcast, I think we should take that last 3 sentences out. That got real weird.
Your views are popping though, Rob. And like, I follow you. I've been friends with you for a while. There's definitely was a period where, you know, you had your quarantine podcast, you were back to vlogging, views were down. Views are up now because people have a story to follow you along with now. Like they know you're part of the house. There's characters in that house. They want to see what you're doing there. They're back to supporting you the same way they were last summer when you went to America. And I know when you went to the US last summer, it was a bit like Irish boy goes abroad. I want to back him. He's like living my dream. And I think you're living the dream for young lads now.
I'd say so as well, yeah. And it's always strange for me because I'm always like experimenting with YouTube. I'm constantly like throwing new ideas at the wall, hoping something sticks. And obviously this isn't the first time when I'm like noticing a small pattern of, oh, go daily. I'm doing something a bit different. Views are up, subscribers are up. That's the only like formula that has worked for me so far. It's when I do something different, when I do kind of get out of my comfort zone and start showing that journey daily, just raw footage, not putting too much time into it. And that's when it starts working, which is kind of strange to me as a creator because like I love getting lost in an edit or like scripting like an amazing video. And then I just put together this like absolute like piece of shit, honestly, of a vlog that took me like maybe 40 minutes to make, and people are loving it, saying, oh my God, the quality is getting so much better. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, no, it is not. So it's kind of strange to look at.
I don't know about you guys, but that's my favorite type of YouTube. Like whenever I've fallen in love with a creator and their channel and their content, it's been because of the journey and the story. Not to be cliche, but like daily vloggers or like how do you say, like a couple of times a week vloggers or whatever. That's when you just like, you sort of set your alarm and you kind of, I'm going to sit down here with my lunch and I'm going to watch this 7-minute vlog, and that's the best kind of YouTube for me. best, like better than any prank or skit. Nothing wrong with that kind of stuff, but
Maybe because it's so raw and it's so authentic. Like, you don't actually get a chance to even be fake. Like, in those videos, there's not a lot that can go into planning, or me to like, okay, we're going to script this and this is going to be fake. There's not enough time for that since it's every single day.
But you kind of feel like someone's friend, though, when you're watching that kind of video.
I'd say
I
so,
feel like,
yeah.
oh, there's Rob again. Oh, Rob's going to the gym. I'm going to go to the gym. That's great.
Probably. And that's like, I'm probably going to get way too deep now, but it is a podcast, so I'm about to dive into the deep end right now.
Yeah. Just make sure there's water in there.
Okay. The reason, like what you mentioned there, someone feeling like my friend, that might be the whole reason why I do YouTube, and why YouTube for me is number one. Is because like I want to be that friend for a kid who was in my position when I was like 8, 9, 10, in just a horrible family situation. Your health might be poor, like something in your life is wrong. You can turn to me, I'll be your friend, I will give you the advice. I will say, go to the gym, go for a walk, take an hour out for yourself. I want to be that person, kind of like a big brother figure nearly, to just millions of kids. That's what I'd love to be.
That's pretty epic.
That's like the final goal. Not even kids, kind of like just,
That's your final form.
yeah.
That's a pretty fucking good goal. That's like a very
pretty epic,
wholesome.
Rob.
And it's like, it's not a bullshit goal either. It's pretty wholesome, but also it doesn't mean you don't want like to have loads of followers or make loads of money. You can do all that stuff at the same time as being the bigger brother or friend. Epic.
Because like, that's what Logan Paul was to me, I think.
Yeah.
When I was like maybe 12 or 13, watching his first few vlogs, if you remember those, when he was just like just after Vine days, that's what he was for me realistically. Like, I'd look at him and he was like a big brother, and he was like doing things, and I was like, oh, I want to do that as well. Or he'd like cheer you up in some sense. That's what I'd love to become for people.
That is a good goal, Rob.
I think it's a very...
My microphone's fucked.
I think it sounds absolutely fine.
No, just this black.
I think that's what's different about the modern day celebrity online, is that I was literally just working out in the back garden and listening to Impulsive, and the guys were arguing over if there was a product to come out, would George Clooney sell more, or would like KSI sell more? And an interesting point they brought up is that George Clooney is famous for playing people other than himself. KSI is famous for being KSI. If you see KSI on the street and he was to meet you, you could or maybe to put it in your context, if someone meets you in Dublin, they know they're meeting you. You're not playing like a character or an act. So that bond is like a lot stronger, and that plays itself out not only for you because it's more fulfilling, because people don't know an act, they know like the actual Rob or the Rob that you want to put out online, but it also works whenever you want to make a product or you want to, turn it into some form of income, that they're probably going to reach into their pockets to support you because you've helped them so much.
Who did they say was better? Who would sell more?
They say KSI would sell more. Now, is that a hard and fast fact? I don't know. George Clooney has an espresso on his CV for brand. So
Yeah, but you'd wonder. I'm sure Nespresso have done their due diligence. Due diligence, but like I'm sure he gets a fat ass check for that up front, and like Nespresso just hope they sell stuff afterwards.
yeah, like I think as a side thing that came to mind there, and you were talking about how people think you feel you want to be people's friends online. Part of that is just seeing you. And part of the reason why the daily vlogs do so well is because literally people literally see your face more, and that in and of itself will make them like you more. It's just like one of those things in the house where I feel like I've become so much better friends with people because you're there every single day. And if you get on with them, stuff compounds. You just like them more. There's less friction. You get on with them better. And it's probably the same for you with the daily vlogs.
Definitely, yeah. And there is like, I can definitely tell like different tiers of what kind of person is a fan of me. Like there's people who've been there since like America vlogs. There's people who've been there from before then, which that's quite a rare thing when they text me and they're like, oh, I was watching you since then, because I was literally just in 6th year or 5th year just doing vlogs with my friends or going to the same place. It just wasn't interesting at all. How I even built up to like 4,000 subs is a miracle by just doing not a whole lot. And then this next wave is like the kind of TikTok subscribers, which are, I feel like, a different age demographic, which is kind of like an interesting metric now. My audience and demographics just kind of growing in different ways.
But you're growing, Rob.
Pretty much, yeah.
as a person, and so are your audience.
That is true, yeah.
I do think of that as well. As like everyone gets older, you're gonna get a girlfriend or a boyfriend. I don't know. You might have kids. You might get married. You're gonna buy your first car, your first house. You know, that's like you're going on a journey, and hopefully your audience will come with you.
That's a wholesome way of putting that, yeah.
It's true though.
Yeah, like I even see it in a small way with learning how to drive. I probably didn't document that as well as I could have, but it's weird. Like you found people asking you for fitness advice. Then I know people already ask you for relationship advice, but they'll ask you about your car. They'll ask you about what it's like going to arts college. They'll ask you about
They'll ask me how it was dropping out because I'm not sitting there. Fuck that.
Have you dropped out?
I want to so bad. Like, I'm like,
What are you doing in college?
Last time I was physically in college was like maybe 2 weeks ago or something, 2.5. And it's just not my thing. It's just, I'm saying it now on this podcast. Like, I can't see myself doing it for 4 years. I just can't see it.
Yeah, college is a good place though to find what you do want to do. If you haven't, but I think you probably have found out what you want to do.
At least like at this stage, I tried it and I'm like, well, now I know. Now I know I 100% don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. Before this, I was like, I don't want to go to college, but my mom was just still like, well, you don't know that. You haven't tried it. Well, here we go. I tried it, still don't like it.
Yeah.
Still does not click. So I'm kind of just like building up the confidence to tell myself, okay, that's it. This year, I wrap up.
Do you have a YouTube subscribership number that would just...
Oh, what would make me like instantly
yeah,
just...
yeah.
100,000, I think.
On the spot.
Without thinking, I just gone.
Yeah.
100,000, because 100,000 feels like, I used to say 10,000 is the point of no return, but I honestly think like 100,000 is the point of no return. Mm-hmm. Like once you get to 100,000, you're at the stage of like, you can't just walk down the street and like, let's say if I walked around Dublin, there would be 100% who'd recognize me.
Yeah. Big
if
dick
I had
energy.
If I had 100,000, or if you had 100,000, you could definitely make like a bit of a living.
Mm-hmm.
Be it small, but you could still make a bit of a living. So I'd say 100,000. That's that number.
Let's get that bread.
Let's do it.
Have you found your subscribers going up since you joined the house?
In the past 2 weeks, I think they went up 1,100.
Fuck, that's pretty solid.
It's good for you, is it?
That's a really, really, really good 2 weeks for me. Last time I saw those numbers was the Quarantine and Chill podcast. And that was basically just bringing my TikTok followers onto my YouTube, which I was trying to figure. It's like a fucking Rubik's Cube. Like you're constantly like, okay, does this work? Does this work? Does this work? And finally that worked. And I got some of my TikTok people over onto YouTube. So it's constantly just like trying to figure out how you get like these people over to here, or how do you get this YouTube video up there.
You had a previous TikTok account that got deleted, didn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
What happened there?
I was just getting way too many strikes. I was just making edgy
Provocative.
jokes, yeah. There was like a knife in one of the videos at some point, and then I got banned for a week. It was just, maybe I was a little R-rated back in the day, but...
Nah, TikTok's a bit over the top with
Yeah,
the censoring. Like, it's, they need to chill.
Yeah. And then it just went, and I didn't even mind, to be honest. I did not care because I don't like TikTok. I just don't like it. I do it because I just know it works.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
And I just put up with
I'm
it.
the same as well.
Doesn't even work for me, but
And plus,
I
like,
just can't fall in love with it.
it's just, it's unsatisfying. Like, even when I ask like anyone in the house, like, they don't really like love TikTok. Nobody's out there like passionately making TikToks.
nah. If YouTube is a deadlift, like a single rep max deadlift, TikTok is plyometrics.
I thought you were going to say bicep curl.
No,
It's more of like a little stretch, like just a little,
Yeah.
you know.
just a warm up lunge.
Yeah.
Just a couple of quick lunges.
It's just,
Anyone can do them.
and that's why I think people like it so much. Anyone can do it. Like the school kids just make a little video and it does like a million views, and they're like, oh my god, 1 million views. That's why people like it.
if we were going to say their currencies, like we've got dollars and euros and yens.
Oh.
If we've got like 1 million YouTube subscribers, for me that's like I've lost my train of thought.
Literally 100 million on TikTok.
Yeah, like, well,
Nah.
I'd say 10. No, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Getting 1,000 subs is probably as hard as getting 100,000 on TikTok.
Yeah, I would
I'll
agree.
put it that way.
And I would take, if I had 1 million on YouTube I would put that down as. Oh well, Instagram's a bit different. I'd probably put
Here's
it
a
down
good
as
question.
5 million on Instagram.
Yeah. So it's like we're saying 1 million on YouTube is 5 million on Instagram, and probably like maybe upwards of 20 on TikTok. If you had a choice to get 1 million on any platform, I already know the answer.
Yeah, no questions asked. YouTube. Just
Tom, what would you say?
Obviously YouTube.
Okay, I'll ask you both. Would you take 100,000 on YouTube or 2 million on TikTok?
YouTube all day.
I actually would say, I'm not even bullshitting, I would take 100k on YouTube over 25 million on TikTok.
I would take.
I just don't care about it.
I'd take 10,000 YouTube subs, but they have to be like quality subs because there's like reaction channels that can have like, just ghost subscribers practically.
Ghosts.
It's kind of like even some TikTokers, they don't really have like real followers. They're there, but they're just like not really popping off. So like a real 10,000 subs, I'd rather take that than like 1 million followers on TikTok, to be honest.
I would rather have no followers than have ghost followers. Like
agree.
you're almost in purgatory because like you're like, well, what am I going to do now? Will I do the same content? Will I try and mix it up? They'll definitely not watch then if I try and mix it up. And you're just sort of like big but not big.
Quick explanation. Purgatory is the weird middle ground between heaven and hell. Moving on.
Thank you for that interesting fact.
No problem.
Is it not between life and heaven?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but like it's like
It is a middle ground of some sort.
It's like the place you go to like just get your sins like extra clean before heaven. So like you might do a couple of years in purgatory if you're making TikToks with knives.
Our history teacher tried to convince us that's real. But
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure like by like the new Bible or whatever, it isn't. There's
I was
heaven and
reading
hell.
that there at the weekend. The new Bible's sick, mate.
I think have you seen V12?
Unreal.
Got it on Kindle there today. I think purgatory is real. About as real as God is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All in the same category.
There you go. And thanks to the Bible for sponsoring this
Yeah,
podcast.
shout out to Father Seamus Heaney for sponsoring this episode of the podcast.
Brilliant.
The parish.
Yeah. Donations this Sunday we're raising for the TikTok house and the rent for that house.
Wait, but you know how mad it is that we all kind of hate TikTok, but we're in a TikTok house?
Well, it's a content
Okay.
house. We just use the word TikTok
So
because
people
it
understand.
fucks
Yeah.
with people's heads. Gets more headlines.
A TikTok house. They make a house out of TikToks. That's how it works.
Would you be
Jenny.
sad if TikTok went tomorrow?
Nah.
No, absolutely
No.
not.
I'd have to spend half an hour changing our little graphic saying like Ireland's only YouTube house, but like nah.
And then we'd hop on the next platform, Click Clock,
Yeah. Wick walk.
where you literally just make phone stuff about clocks.
One of my goals actually for 2021 is to get 1 million on TikTok. I think it's possible.
Yeah, it probably is possible.
But biggest question is how do you move that 1 million onto like YouTube or Instagram? That's just, if you're a girl, it's so much easier. Like,
Andrea and Lewis had some interesting insights about that. Do you remember they were saying that you can make videos that you basically get people to want to see the end, and you say to see the end, you go to their Instagram or their YouTube, and
Yeah.
they've moved serious numbers. So like, again, it comes down to the creative, doesn't it?
Kind of, yeah. For me though, I just feel like that's all so dirty. Like I just want to make a sick YouTube video that goes viral, and I want YouTube to push me. I don't want any of these games.
You want
I
it
don't
to be a meritocracy.
Yeah, I don't want anything.
if a TikToker follower
Yeah.
comes over, realistically, it's like an 8-year-old, and they're gonna like watch your video mindlessly, not really even like connect with you. And as I said from the start, like I want to be like a big brother kind of figure. If you're 8, you can't even like conceive that many ideas. You just want to watch like a kid open like a toy or something.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in this weird trap of making content that isn't you for a platform that you don't like just to get numbers, to then finally figure out that like when that fan comes over to the platform you actually care about, they don't give a fuck about your vlogs because all they care about is you doing a little renegade.
Do you want a mad story?
Tell me.
It's actually pretty weird. It's
a podcast,
It's the biggest. This is the biggest YouTuber I know personally from Limerick. This guy's name is Vlad TV, I think, and he does reaction videos. He's on 2.2 million. Yeah, and I talked to him maybe a year and a half ago. I think a year and a half ago. But I always knew of him. He was in like, Irish books for secondary school. He was like an example of like what a YouTuber is. He was in the fucking school book. And I knew he's from Limerick, but he was living in like Toronto or something. And he came back to like rent out like an apartment and just live there for a while. Something got to do with visa or whatever. And I just DM'd him and I was like, yo, what's up? I see that you're in Limerick. Do you want to hang out and just talk YouTube and stuff? Came over to his, and I think he's just a little bit older than me. And we were just like hanging out, chilling, talking about YouTube. And he was just telling me how for him, like he started YouTube with the same kind of thing that I was, like, oh, it's creative, it's fun. But then he just dropped it really quickly and all he did was reaction videos. And at some stage he was just like, this is just money. So he got like signed with a company and he does like an X amount of reaction videos that the company does the thumbnails for him. They like tell him what to do. He's just like not even doing it for the creative, literally simply for the money. Doesn't even care, just for the money. Was showing me like a Discord with like Keemstar, all these other YouTubers that they send in their like thumbnails to get approved, and all, like it's a whole thing where you just become a YouTuber for financial gain. It's like when people like re-upload like little parts of like movies or little gaming clips or just stuff like that. So there is like a part of YouTube where people do just for the money and don't care about anything else. And I was like, that's so interesting. Like,
I don't hate that.
it's just
Better
interesting.
than being a fucking accountant or something.
Probably.
I think it's just as bad.
It's
On the same level-ish.
It's still better though.
There's no creative satisfaction. You're just uploading videos for the sake of uploading videos. It gets like a couple, one video could do 20K views. The next one could get like 4 million. And it's just all the time. And that kind of, I don't know, like it didn't dampen my mood, but I was like, that's weird.
Yeah, it's a spectrum, isn't it?
Yeah, like that to me just sounded like he basically got signed to a record label, and the record label have decided this is when you put out an album, this is how we're going to do the production, you're just the face of it. There's another way of looking at it where if he was really interested in the intricacies of reacting to things and he was studying his body language and how he can change his voice tonality, there's different ways to spin stuff to make it interesting. People always give the example of accountancy being boring, and then you come across someone who is very interested in tax and they're a very interesting person. So the subject matter itself, if you're a YouTuber or you're an accountant or you're a rocket scientist,
Tax. Is that a real person or are you just bullshitting?
Yeah, there's a girl called Kate in my course who absolutely loves tax.
Is she interested in that?
Yeah, when she
And she
talks
loves
about
tax.
tax.
Well, you kind of have to say that now, don't
And she
you?
gets like excited and she's like,
Shout out to Kate.
What am I going to say? Kate
This
is
year's
not
taxes, I
interesting.
can't
Yeah,
wait.
you fuck now.
No, but she is interesting in her own way. And that's the same thing about being a YouTuber. It's about Rob is interesting for who Rob is, not being somebody else. You have your own individual interests. Jake does too. I do too.
that's just the
I
last.
just went on a big rant there.
Tax.
I think that whole like sellout of YouTube, that's the last thing that I'd want to be. And some people fall in the middle ground of that when they just do kind of like sellout videos.
Life's
That
about
makes sense.
balance, bro. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe there should be probably a few notes taken from people like that and hopping on trends every now and then. But
Yeah. What was that Bruce Lee quote? Take what you like, throw away what you don't like, and add your own unique twist or some bullshit like that.
was that Bruce Lee? Or was that Jake Brown just there?
Rob, what sort of end goal do you have for social media for you? Do you think it's like the beginning of your career? Do you think it's what you want to be full time, or
It's hardly the end, is it?
I wouldn't say I was always like, this is going to be it. This is going to be my career. But something in the creative field, that's all I want. Something that satisfies me creatively. But like for the next 5 years, I do see myself devoting everything to it. And I think YouTube's one of those things that it's like I'll always do. Even if I had nothing, I'd still be doing it. I always did want to do it.
you'd wonder, it's because it is, it's an old social media platform, but it's also very new. You'd wonder when we're 60, is it just a thing that it's like, oh, Jimmy from the retirement home uploaded, can't wait to watch that.
Why not though? Why it's so good. Why shouldn't it stay around that long? I can't think of anything better. If someone can, sure. But like at the moment,
The
I don't think
Lindy
there's-
effect.
Do you know Vimeo? I read about Vimeo yesterday. So we're all in agreement here. Vimeo's shit, yeah?
I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty shit.
It's
Thanks,
like this
Rob.
other YouTube for people who make like nice looking films and stuff. But like
Ew.
there's
I
no
don't know.
search and it's real slow and the interface is real gross. I can't remember what it's valued at, but they raised $135 million. I think it's like $2 or $3 billion valuation for being the shit artsy little brother of YouTube.
Wow.
Okay, you know what would be cool if Netflix had like another Netflix, but
Yeah.
they did what YouTube are doing.
Yeah.
Practically copy them, but they all copy each other. If Netflix did something like that, and I could like switch between movies to watching YouTube videos, that would be pretty
But
cool.
like YouTube are literally doing YouTube originals now. Like I've signed up for the premium thing.
Really?
Do you know YouTube charges $14 a month for that?
I pay.
And I'm literally doing it
You
only
actually pay.
Yeah, because I can listen to videos when I close my iPhone.
That's the only reason I pay.
Only reason why.
Because you can close the YouTube app and still
That's
listen.
cheating.
And I can watch Justin Bieber seasons.
Also, there's no ads, right?
Yeah, no ads as well. Which is it's just something I don't really care about too much.
No, I wouldn't pay to remove ads, but I'd definitely pay to listen to a YouTube video.
They should really push that a lot more because I didn't even know that.
They really do, man. If you check on your phone, they're always telling you to download a free trial. Always.
But
It's that free trial life, and
they
then all of a
don't
sudden you
actually,
forget
like,
to cancel it.
They don't explain it.
Fuck.
Like if they start like paying YouTubers, I feel like they're so undervalued. But if YouTube was like, okay, look, we're gonna start paying you commissions now, anyone who you sign up, then we're talking business. Then people actually start signing up for that. Because I haven't even heard of that. I didn't know that you can like
That's
turn off
very
your phone.
interesting. Could they do that?
Why don't they work with the creators and try get more people onto that?
Man.
Like if I knew that, I'd cancel my Netflix subscription. Go fine, I'll go on to YouTube, or I'd cancel Spotify if I can like turn off my phone.
We could just accumulate a large volume of subscriptions and ultimately end up bankrupt, which is what I'm currently on the path to. I have so many subscriptions. I'm subscribed to myself at this point.
Every week, Jake gets basically like inadvertently gets me to sign up for 2 more SaaS products. Like this week, it was Dollar Bird and
Tandem.
Tandem.
Tandem's gone.
We had like it got put in the title of an email for our focus for this week as a production team. Now it's gone.
Well, like, see, I'm at home and I drink a coffee and I open my laptop and just get really excited. And then I have to tell everyone.
You know, I'm actually like the opposite of that. I don't pay for Spotify. Like
You don't?
never.
Okay, Rob, stop
I'm
wasting
so
your time.
cheap.
Get on premium.
Not okay. I look up the YouTube video how to get it for free. I use the illegal link and then I just get
Okay,
it
that's
for
my
free.
boy. That's
Well, I
my
don't
boy.
pay either. My sister paid for a family thing and she just gave me your code.
That's pretty outrageously good.
Yeah.
Never bought Netflix. Never.
You know, they say your network is your net wealth.
I don't think it's exactly that. But
What is it?
Your network is your net worth.
Ah, fuck.
Boom.
Delete that. Do you hear me? Your network is your net worth. Same thing, though, isn't it? Different words. I'm dyslexic.
No, you're not.
Are you
No,
interpreting? Are you interpreting that as, oh yeah, I'm on Virgin Media. That's my net worth because that's my net
No, I'm
worth.
interpreting it as my sister pays for a product for me. So she's in my network. And now I've got $9.99 a month extra, which means I'm net worth more.
Makes sense.
It's just maths, Rob. At the end of the day, masters in engineering. You can't argue with it. Numbers
I
are
actually
numbers, Rob.
can't.
The numbers don't lie, Rob. The numbers don't lie.
But I am like the cheapest person you'll ever meet. Like to the T. Like I try save.
A frugal
like,
man. A
every
true
little-
Eastern European.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My mom just raised me like that, and I'm like that all the time now. Cheap on every single little thing. These shoes, had to buy them from Depop secondhand. I was not paying €100 for Air Forces. I got them for 70.
Fair.
Also sold mine, so it just ends up what they cost like €40 then.
Wow.
That is fair.
Every little detail I tried, even like the watch, waited for the sale, got 25% off. Was no way I was going to pay full price.
That is the exact opposite of me and Jake.
Haven't gotten a haircut
That
in
is
3
very
years.
interesting.
I am the antithesis of you.
He's dyslexic and he can't get the words out.
That's
I know you got it right. Antithesis. It's a hard word to say, Jake.
I said it, though.
You did say it quite well.
Did I say it wrong?
Just on Jake being like opening up his
Antithesis.
laptop and getting excited. That was literally, he sent me a WhatsApp and he said, I want Rob Zujan in the house.
Horny for SaaS products. Yeah, I did. I said, Rob, I want Rob Zujan in the house.
And I said, I'll send him a DM.
I said I got it wrong. And you were in the house within 4 days.
that was quick.
quick.
We do not.
That was very
We
quick,
act
wasn't it?
fast. Jake wrote something for an article recently for some publication that we're going into. And
Shout out to us. Can't tell you yet, but it's really cool.
and he said, we work at this close to the speed of light. And that is definitely how we try and run this house.
3 by 10 to the power of 8 meters per second.
We can get to
There's
the
the
moon and
college
back
degree going in.
Speed of light. Otherwise known as C.
if you're to do the maths. And Rob is E, the energy.
E equals MC squared.
Well,
And the mass, because you're a chunky man.
Yeah.
that was very quick that I came into the house. That was like you sent me the DM and then I was in there like what 2 or 3 days later.
It required you to accept quickly as well, though.
What is the point in waiting around? This is a good segue here. So, all about speed, right? Rob, you know the Visa card? Like the
Right.
fucking credit card?
Yeah.
How long do you think it took to build the Visa card from the day the guy had the idea to the day the first person used it?
A month.
90 days.
which is absolutely fucking bonkers.
Pretty fast when you think about it.
A month. He could have done it in a month.
There's another example as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, the iPod. Don't say month again because you're going to be wrong. Since the day your man had the idea for the iPod to when it was shipped to the first customer, how long?
Oh, had to be like 6 months.
280 days. Roughly like 9.5, 10 months. So pretty fucking speedy though.
Yeah, because like time, that's
Like
their
the
biggest currency.
iPod, like an iconic device. 9 months? Bro, you can't even have a baby that quick. It's pretty
That
epic.
is true. That is true.
Well, I think
Speed is
people
key.
have like this idea in their head that like things can't be achieved quickly. Like you're saying, oh, I don't know if I can get. I think it's possible I could get 1 million on TikTok in 2020.
Oh my god.
Why can't you get 1 million on
fucking
YouTube?
Andrea and Lewis, it blew my mind. We're talking today. They have 5.7 million in
This-
a year.
They started 12 months
A
ago.
fucking year.
Because like theoretically, you could do it tomorrow with the right video.
What's that Peter
but-
Thiel thing?
You know what? TikTok's just easy to maneuver though. Slap in a video off your camera roll, bam, bam, bam.
We fuck with this
Edit
out.
it really quickly.
We're gonna fuck with your head now, okay? Rob, how can you achieve your 10-year goals in the next 6 months?
Don't sleep.
Just that.
Sleepless?
It's a bit of a rhetorical question, isn't it? But like, that just fucks with your head. What would I have to do to achieve my 10-year goal in 6 months?
You'll probably have to like drop just about everything that isn't working. Like every small little thing. Like you'd have to cut time on like, I don't know, like long shits, walks, everything.
I have
Every
very
small
efficient
little thing.
shits. I will give it that.
Tom is disgracefully quick at taking shits.
I basically
I think that's
decide
something to
when
be
I
proud
want to
of.
shit, do it, and I come back out. And I still have time to wipe.
Like as quick as I would do number one.
Quick
See,
showers
do you
too.
know I never understood why people used to like read newspapers in the shower? Or sorry,
Do they?
Makes sense.
read newspapers
Read newspapers in the shower.
whilst taking a shit or be on their
Reading a
phone.
newspaper in the shower and taking a shit.
So you
Man,
take
that's
shits
so
in the
messy.
shower. Oh, that's a good way
The
to
bottom
like,
of the
speed
shower
up.
would be so clogged up with shit and just wet paper. Like, wow.
But you could cut time on a lot of places if you think about it.
So the question is, why aren't you doing that?
I think it's the little things that make up our life. Like
Good answer.
I need time sometimes to sit there for 30 minutes, do absolutely nothing and drink a Monster. That's just what I enjoy doing.
But like if your goal, here I'll put words in your mouth. If your goal was to get 1 million subscribers,
Right?
what would you do?
That I'm not doing now.
But like what would you do? What would be the answer? How would you get to 1 million subscribers?
Fuck, I have another good question.
Make the best video I can possibly make every single week and make the next one better than that
Every
one.
week.
Okay, Rob, here's another
And
one.
make it better than that one.
This is an old gym, the argument about like how many times a week you should squat.
Right.
They always say, if someone was going to kill your family in 100 days, would you be talking about squatting once a week or would you be squatting every day?
I'd probably be more concerned about who's trying to kill the family.
But like, you have to...
I have to like out squat something.
Yeah.
So-
You got to increase your squat as much
So
as
they're
possible.
like underneath the weight, and if I don't get it up, it just squishes their heads.
Yeah. So would you just wait to squat every 3 days or would you squat all the fucking time?
I won't squat all the time.
Oh, would you not?
No, because then you get too tired, and then you don't like get proper recovery. And
I'll tell you what, Rob. I'll
Am
be
I thinking
squatting
about
6
this too
days a week
technically?
and I'll be taking Sunday off to pray for my family.
Yeah. They're going to die though if you don't squat.
but then you'd want to like use the correct metrics and like the correct like weightlifting techniques to actually like up your squat more
But
efficiently.
how much
But
of the
what are
squat,
they?
Rob,
What
is
are they?
just squatting? That's my question. Given that you need a certain amount of technique,
I
how do
think
you get your bench press up?
bench 3 times a week with the correct power lift. I'm being way too technical for this, but like just
Okay, here's the thing. If someone said to you, we'll give you $100 million if you can
Right.
get to 1 million YouTube subscribers by New Year's Eve, would you post once a week or would you post every day?
I'd post every single day.
Would you post twice a day?
No.
Oh, yeah. But see the point?
Okay, I can kind of see the point, but I feel like the analogy is off because
Yeah, it is. Squatting
the,
is
the
different.
gym one is just it doesn't work.
Especially for
'Cause
yourself.
Yeah, no, you're dead right. But
Especially
like
for such a weakling like you.
it makes you think
get it.
different, doesn't it?
Yeah, weak knees. I get it. Fucking
Yeah, I'd blow my
soft-
poor knees out.
Soft Eastern Europeans. Just not built like us
Like me and
Irish.
Jacob said this so many times. Really, like we used to do these podcasts during quarantine before this whole
I
house
used to
thing,
watch 'em.
and
Well,
we used to
listen.
talk about the whole YouTube thing. And I found that even this week, I'll have posted 3 times this week, and like it took a lot of effort. It just goes back to it's just very hard to do it consistently.
Yeah.
I'd say YouTube's like one of those like hardest challenges there is. But then you ask someone who just got a bit of luck. I feel like the hardest thing on YouTube is doing it purely no luck, all natural growth, and getting to 1 million that way is probably the hardest.
But luck is just opportunity and
Imagine how
preparation.
nice that feels. Imagine how nice that fucking 1 mil plaque feels. Just imagine like actually holding it. That's what keeps me ticking.
I'll let you know.
That
Like
feeling.
Andre and Lewis have what, 250,000?
Yeah, maybe more. 300.
Like 300K, bro.
Okay. They don't know who PewDiePie is though.
Do they not?
Nope.
Would I give a fuck if I didn't know who PewDiePie is and I had 250,000? Probably not.
I feel like you would, yeah. It's
But
almost
it's
like
the culture.
investing and not knowing who Warren Buffett is.
Warren Buffet.
Warren Buffett. Like, oh, I'm going to start a tech company, but I've never heard of Steve Jobs. It's like, man, you're a miss from the culture. I'm just saying words now so that there's words.
Like, let's say, right, what would be the figure that I'd have to give you to like just sell? Let's say, right, Thomas, by Christmas, your channel just pops off. Every single video is going up. You're making videos every single day. You're on 100K subs. Okay.
Damn.
And what figure would I have to pay you for you to sell me your channel? And you can't start YouTube again.
And I have to sell.
Yeah.
I absolutely.
Well, you can say no. You can just say no. I'm just going to keep this channel and
yeah,
do my thing.
I wouldn't sell, bro. My future value is way too high.
See, that's the difference, because I think they'd have a figure. You won't. You probably won't either, and I don't either, because we love YouTube so much.
I'd take 100 mil.
Really?
Yeah.
And you can't make YouTube videos ever again?
Can I make the videos? Just can't post them. Or am I not allowed to make the videos?
No videos. You just have to walk around with that Polaroid and just take pictures of stuff, and you have 100 mil, and that's it.
Yeah, I'd take it. Would just mean too much to me, like to my family, my kids' kids. I would find another way to creatively satisfy myself. As much as I would hate to not make YouTube videos, I would also far more, it would outweigh like the potential of like helping one of my kids if they got sick, or helping my friends if they're in downtimes and all that kind of stuff.
But then what if like you felt you could flip that 100, if you had that 100K subscribers, you could probably
100 mil. That's a rough ride.
Have you ever like jailbroken a game, or like GTA? Have you ever gotten like unlimited money? I think it ruins the game. You need to love the game.
Yeah.
It ruins it. If I would,
yeah.
honestly, I would like dead ass, not even joking. I would not want to win the lottery, like hundreds of millions. If you gave me a button to press, I would not press it. And I mean it. Like 100% would not press it.
I'd press it so fucking fast.
I wouldn't.
So
It'd ruin
hard.
the game. It would ruin life.
I think you'd spend 20 million of your 100 million getting back to where you were, like in your head. I do agree with that. Like you'd go through some weird times.
Because like I really do enjoy like making videos and like hoping this one blasts off, or I love the little tiny wins, and that's what life is. It'd just ruin it for me if I just got that 100 million. That was it. Like by the time I'm 30, I'd probably be like depressed and be like close to suicide. I'd have nothing to do. I'd literally have nothing to do.
Would you though?
I have nothing else to do. What would I do? Like
You'd figure it out, bro.
carve pumpkins? I don't
Anything.
know.
You don't know. You could
Paint?
start a huge, crazy gym like Christian Guzman.
But like, is a good analogy say like when companies get bought out by bigger companies, when Amazon buys a startup that a guy has been
Twitch.
but the guy still works for the company. Like he has the money now, but he still works for the company. I think it's just a case of you would take the money, but it's not really about the money. You can still work and do everything you want. It's just nice to know that your kids will grow up safe financially.
I don't know. I think it ruins it. Like the actual game of like building up, like getting this much and that much and that much. That would be so much more satisfying than actually just getting the money.
That is
That's
quite
it.
Gary V mentality, which I respect. He always talks about starting at zero.
Yeah.
Because it's so fun. It
I
actually,
think it's easy to
sometimes
say though.
You have to like take
The
yourself.
thing
out
is
of it.
though, Rob, if we had, and we're going to bring it in now, if we had 100 million on the desk, you
Think
would
about
It's
what-
hard to imagine. It's very hard
Think
to
of
imagine.
your family and stuff. Like, think of how much you could help everyone.
I'd ruin their life. I would ruin their life.
How?
Because they'd have so much money, they would not know what to do with it. Their goals would be over. Everything would be done. They'd be just
Okay,
driving
but-
around in a Lambo.
You'd have to
and
be
that would
smart about it though.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't. I
Well,
wouldn't.
okay.
I'd be stupid with it. Like I would just
So would
spend
I.
it all on expensive, useless stuff, and
Yeah.
that would be it.
You just buy a yacht. That's
I'd be
way
known
too
as
big.
like the rich granddad, and that's it. Like I
that
wouldn't even leave
Italian
a
guy
legacy.
that dances on the boat. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he seems ultimately unhappy. I do agree with you on most of your points. I just think if that button was sitting in front of me, I'd press it so fucking hard.
You could help so many people with that money.
Yeah.
You
You
could
could
buy.
just give it all straight away to charity.
If you think of it, like you could buy your mum a house. You could like be a
Not a crazy
philanthropist.
house, just like a normal house.
You could build up.
But
your,
if I have 100 million, I wouldn't just get a house. I'd go insane with it.
Okay.
Like I could say I'd be
let's
so
peel it
mature with
back
that
then.
money.
What about 5 mil?
Yeah, okay, then that's fair. I'm talking about like ridiculous money.
Ah, yeah.
That changes the whole question. If I'd like 5 mil, yeah, cool. That's nice.
Yeah, because you can fuck 5
Makes
mil up
life
pretty quick.
Yeah, it makes life comfortable.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I'm with you there. I'm agreeing with you right there.
Because like I mean, like insane money, like Jeff Bezos money, that'd feel weird. That would feel like it would ruin life because I have nothing else to work for anymore.
Yeah, I'd wonder though. I think it's all based on the degree to which your ambition is there, and who knows that if you were to get 100 million, maybe you think about going to space because you've achieved what you know what I mean. It maybe your mindset just changes in the same way that when you got 1,000 subs, you didn't just say the game is over. Now it's 10K. When you hit 10K, the game has changed. I don't think the game ever really ends. You just press the reset button and you play a different game.
That actually sounds very accurate. That sounds.
No, I'm making shit up here.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah, your game does change. Like I'm sure, like billionaires have different ambitions than we do. Sitting here thinking, oh, how cool would 100K be on
On YouTube.
Yeah.
You could argue that, and it was Jake's idea to start the house, but our previous businesses, which we still do bits and pieces of, the video production thing, that was a game. And Jake basically thought of a new game we could play, and we're having great fun playing this game.
So much better game. The graphics are much better.
But who's to say that we don't find Halo 27 as our next idea, and we're like, fuck, that's an even better game to play.
Yeah.
There are levels to this shit.
There's levels to this shit. Everything's relative, right?
To where you've been, to where you want to go.
One man's what's that saying? One man's treasure or something like that.
Is another man's
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Treasure,
That's
exactly.
savage.
Boom. So like
And we're flying our quotes today.
our
aren't we?
favorite things in the world are probably like Jeff Bezos, like problems, first world problems. I don't know. Actually, I'm not making any sense anymore.
As in, like, him figuring out how to land Blue Origin is like the problem that you really want to solve.
I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm just kind of blacked out there for a while.
But the game of YouTube, that's just currently my favorite one. I've been playing it daily for the past 3 years. Constantly thinking about it, doesn't leave my mind. And I will play it until I stop enjoying it. And I think I'll be enjoying it for a long time. Everything else
Same,
takes
bro.
the back seat. That's just how it is. Like the relationship game, that's back there somewhere. Everything else is just way far back. Just the YouTube game's too fun.
Life is a game
If you think about it as a game, it actually makes it so much easier.
or a sport.
Maybe, yeah.
Life is a sport. Let's win.
EA Sports.
It's in the game.
Shout out to Rob.
Epic. Rob, thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you for having me. Hope this was a decent episode. Hope it motivated a few people, or I don't know, makes them think a bit.
Where can they find you on YouTube, Rob?
Robert Zujan, that's Zujan.
Excellent.
Thanks.
That's quite a flowy podcast.
Bye.
I like that one.
Bye.